Welcome to USMNT Weekly on the Total Soccer Show, our regular update on the national team. Today we're getting into the next gen with the upcoming Under-20 World Cup. We're looking back at the best performers from last weekend and much, much more. My name's Ryan Bailey. Joining me today, Taylor Rocco's here. Hello, Taylor.
Hello, Ryan Bailey. I am so excited to be here. I am so excited to do this show because making Ryan talk about the national team in the international break is one thing. Forcing him to talk about youth national teams and youth tournaments, even better, even more fun.
I'm here of my own volition, Taylor. No one has handcuffed me to this studio at this point.
Yeah, Ryan tried to flee. We brought him back. He's here now.
I couldn't resist hanging out with my three buddies, including but not limited to Joe Lowery. Hello, Joe.
Also, it was us that got you out of bed this morning for this show, not like in-depth discussion of Adam Beaudry or Reed Baker-Whiting or all these people that you totally know exist.
Oh, yeah, if they were real, yes.
Yep. And if they weren't, then no. Yeah, 100%. Good. Got it.
Very good. Graham Ruthven's also here. Hello, Graham. How are you?
I'm very well. Ryan Bailey, I actually thought of you earlier today. I was reading a Trinity Rodman Q&A article, and she said her favourite food place is Chili's. So that should definitely be a TSS Patreon.
Actually, Graham, what the question was that she was answering was, what do you ache for?
Oh,
and
that's
her response was Chili's.
Yeah, I meant to ask Ryan, what do you ache for, Ryan? Tell us.
This is a family show, isn't it? Like, I'm not sure we can go into that.
Why did an interviewer ask her, what do you ache for? I'm hoping that's a mistranslation.
We've all done interviews. You guys don't lead with that?
I'm going to now. I can't wait.
I ache for
Mauricio
chat
Pochettino,
about...
quick question.
I ache for chat about the US U20 World Cup team, which I definitely knew loads about before this episode. I was saying this before we started recording. I'm convinced the US and US fans pay more attention to their youth players and youth national teams than any other country in the world, which is, is probably a good thing. I could not tell you anything about the corresponding Scotland U20 team. And so just when you were talking there, Ryan, I went and found a recent team sheet. These are some real names from the U20 Scotland national team. Aaron McSporran,
yes.
Kai McGonigal.
That's
no,
honestly, character.
I'm showing to the camera to show it's real. These are real players, although they could be made up by ChatGPT.
So a sporran is the thing you wear, like the little pouch on the front of the kilt, right? So if I was going to name generate a random Scot, I would say McSporran, 100%.
McSporran, what a name! What
Wow.
a name! Wow. Great stuff.
Kai McGonigal was definitely a seeker for the Quidditch team after Harry Potter retired.
100%.
That's right.
Yeah. Worst game ever invented, right there.
Graham, we were talking before we came on air about the importance of the Under-20 World Cup and sort of youth international soccer for the US audience, and maybe it has more prevalence in this market than it, say, does in Europe. And I think there's a few reasons for that, maybe one of which I posited was that, college sports is a big thing here, and sort of there's more emphasis on younger players. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, you would have more of an insight on that than I, and I think Joe was potentially agreeing with that before we started recording as well. I think my kind of impression is it comes from a place of US fans wanting to spot their Lamine Yamal, right? This idea that a country this size, this level of potential as a soccer nation will eventually produce a player of that level, and so people want to spot that player when they're playing for the U20s before everyone else does. So I think that's where it comes from as well.
Excellent stuff. All right, why don't we get straight to it and talk about the US Under-20 World Cup roster? The Under-20 World Cup, of course, starts this Saturday in Chile. It runs every 2 years. The US is a Pot 1 team in this one. In the US's Group E, there is France, there is South Africa, there is New Caledonia, which, as we all know, Graham, is an island in the Pacific Ocean vaguely near Australia that's not Scottish at all.
I know that now because that's the subject of this week's Soccer Dispatch newsletter. So definitely not Scottish, very much French. So
very good indeed.
Little plug there.
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's once again Caledonian sounds very Scottish, but
it does.
There we are. Marko Mitrovic, the Serbian former player, is coach of the Under-20s. Formerly, he was an assistant coach at the Fire, among other places. And the US starts its run, Joe, against New Caledonia, the aforementioned, on Monday on Fox Sports 1, if you want to check it out. Joe, you excited about this?
I am excited about this. I very much enjoyed the U20 World Cup. I remember an era where we would have talked about this a lot more than we have leading up to this tournament, sort of right around when the U.S. ended up missing out on qualification for 2018, a lot of even the writing I was doing at the time for The Athletic was I wrote about U20 World Cups, and that would have been, I believe, the 2019 U20 World Cup was sort of the first one that I'd written about there. And there are real players that come out of these things, obviously for other nations, but for the U.S. as well. Even if you look back at the last U20 World Cup team, the 2023 version, Diego Luna's on that team, and Jack McGlynn's on that team, and Owen Wolf's on that team. There are real players that have come on either to enter the full national team picture or that have become really quite prominent MLS players along the way. We're going to see something similar happen. The question is always how many of these guys are elite potential players, and a lot of the players on this roster are ones that we've talked about before. There are some other ones that maybe haven't gotten quite as much discussion from us that I think do have quite a bit of potential as well. But really, I think the most interesting way to think about these games is less about the wins and losses. There is not winning this competition doesn't matter, right? This is basically a series of games that provide exposure for these players that can lead to better clubs for them in the future, all of those kinds of things. Really, I think the best way to watch these games is to watch it for the individuals, right? The team tactics and all that matter less, although you mentioned Marko Mitrovic. The last U20 manager was Mikey Varas, who's now having a lot of success with San Diego. It would not shock me at all, as we see some openings around Major League Soccer and this U20 World Cup cycle ending, if we see Marko Mitrovic end up with a job somewhere, probably in American soccer, probably in MLS. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that seems on the table. But watch these games for the players. Like, who are the players that leap off the screen? Who are the players that look like they're surviving in that France game in particular? I think that's the way to watch this, is through that individual lens.
Montreal or DC United, Joe? Where's he heading?
Oh,
put that
Marco.
On him. Do not put that on him.
Can I say Kansas City or something else that's not what you said?
City. I'll give you Kansas City.
Oh, poor guy. Poor guy.
He's overqualified for the DC job, I think.
And somehow all four of us also.
To Joe's point, like I think if you go back and look at the winners of these tournaments for the last few years, you're always going to have like some names in there, and there's always going to be a feeling that maybe some of these guys could still like kick on to that next level. But I do think largely you don't have like, oh, here's that team that had every single player in it that's now playing for Real Madrid and Barcelona. Like, you'll get a few of those, but it is much more about kind of like where players are in this present moment at this age, what they have done in their careers, maybe a little bit of networking historically for the U.S. teams. But I think in the end, what we're looking for is to see, how they respond to playing in the world stage, like at the top tier of a competition at this youth level, and to see what they can do and how they can kind of beat opposition that is theoretically going to be stronger than them. Maybe not New Caledonia, but maybe France. And just see how they respond. And I think out of this team, we may get a few players who do then kick on to that next level or do start to generate some more hype, because ultimately I think Graham is correct. The U.S. wants to win. I think we want to be winners, and we want a team that we want to believe that one day we will win the World Cup. Are we going to right now? Probably not, but maybe it's right around the corner. And so I think there is always an enthusiasm for maybe this is the guy who's going to do it. Maybe this is the guy who could kick on to that next level and help us achieve glory.
Well, Taylor, on that note, I'd like to hear about your guy you're excited to watch from this roster. It's a 21-player roster. As noted, some players we have heard of, candidly a lot I haven't, and maybe that's the same with the listener as well. 16 players from MLS involved in this one as well. Taylor, if you had to pick one player you're interested in tracking in this tourney, who
would it be? Coming out there for a moment. I mean, I think so. Like, as a bit of preamble, there are names, as Joe said, as everyone has said, I think, that like people might recognize. Diego Cocan is a player that we've talked about, the goalkeeper for Barcelona, who maybe we want to see as like the third choice or the fourth choice for the U.S. in goal. Josh Winder for Benfica B is a player that I've been very excited about because it feels like he is on the verge. He's like an injury away from potentially getting minutes for Benfica. With Jose Mourinho, that would be very exciting now. However, for me, there is a name that I am not at all familiar with, or was not at all familiar with until I started researching this. Joe, can you guess where I'm going?
Are you going to San Diego?
I am not.
Then no, I cannot.
That's a safe bet. I'm going Marcus Zambrano, someone I knew absolutely nothing about. Marcus Alberto Zambrano Delgado. He is listed as playing for Vitória Guimarães B on Wikipedia. He does not play for Vitória Guimarães B. He plays for Real Monarchs. He is an RSL player. I believe moved on a free. I knew nothing about him. I went and watched some of his footage, and he is, I'm going to say, of like the current U.S. number 9s, he is more in the Ricardo Pepi mold. He's only 5'11", so he's not an aerial combatant or anything like that, but he is a very good sort of presence in the box, arriving at the exact right moment for the cutback, for the kind of instep pass into the goal. But he makes smart runs, he draws good fouls, and he has scored plenty this season. Since moving to the Monarchs in August, he's played 8 games, he's scored 5 goals. And this is a youngster who was born in Ecuador, played for their U16s, but was eligible to play for the U.S. because I believe his dad is American. So he had that U.S. passport, so too did his brother. He came through the Philly Academy, then he goes to Benfica B, then Vitória de Guimarães, then RSL, now Real Monarchs. And so isn't, already playing at a top flight league at a high level, but I think for kind of the journey he has been on to be in a position where he's going into this tournament wearing the number 9, they're going to need somebody to score goals and be that presence in the box and maybe take some penalties. And he's one who I don't know much about, but that's what this tournament is about for me. It's watching the guys I'm excited about, who I kind of already know, but then also watching the guys I know nothing about but want to see more of.
Yeah, Taylor, I like that pick. I haven't seen any of Zambrano either, to be totally transparent, but he is someone who moved to RSL in the summer transfer window. He was a part of their incoming selection of players. And he's somebody that they obviously rate quite highly because you don't sign players that you don't think are going to be good, at least have a chance to be good. But even more than that, if you're thinking about being at a club, basically anywhere in the world as a young American player, RSL is a pretty darn good pick of the entire bunch, right? Because you know that they're going to give you opportunities. They've given Diego Luna opportunities. They've given Xavier Gozo opportunities. He's a player that I'm very interested in watching in this tournament, who's been a legit impact player for them, especially on the right wing when he's played this season. He's become a regular starter, and RSL are releasing him to go to this tournament because they believe in the value of youth national team games. They believe in the value of actually giving these players minutes across various different experiences. So to bring it back to Zambrano for just a second, he is a player that doesn't have the clearest path to minutes with RSL now, and it might be a year, a little less than a year, it might be 10 months until next summer before he's breaking in as like a 30 minutes off the bench here, spot start over here kind of player. But he's somebody who's in a really good spot to develop in terms of his club, and that is something that matters a ton for young players.
Definitely so. Joe, who's your pick from the roster that you're looking out for?
I have a few. I don't want to name them all now because I want to leave Graham with some people. I will stick with Gozo for just a second. He has scored, I believe, 4 goals for RSL in league play this year. He has become a regular starter. He's also one of the youngest players in this whole bunch. So to be eligible to play at this tournament, you have to have been born in 2005 or later. And Gozo's born in 2007, which I do believe makes him eligible for the next U20 World Cup as well. He's one of the youngest players then in this whole roster. He's good. Like, he is legit good. He's been a useful MLS player. That might even be doing him dirty there. Like, he's been quite good in his MLS minutes. Scored a lovely bicycle kick the weekend before last. Has been really effective racing in behind the back line on that right wing. Can cut inside, can thread through a ball. He's a very varied winger over on that right side. He's played in a couple of different roles as well. I really like his game. The other player that I'll mention is Luca Bombino at left back for San Diego. He has been very good to the point where he's getting interest from English teams and has been the subject of some transfer rumors coming out of San Diego. San Diego got him for LAFC. They've plunked him down as their starting left back now for most of this season. And we know how San Diego play, which is to say they've never seen a high press that they don't want to play through. Bombino, you would think as a young player in that group, maybe he's got some lumps and it takes him a while to figure out how to play through that. He looks more comfortable playing through the press than basically any player in the San Diego squad. Like, he is so natural at building out from the back under pressure. He does not look phased at all. I think he's got a little work he can do in the final third when it comes to contributing higher up the field. But as a starting point, if we talk about wanting the U.S. to be able to solve problems on the ball, having players that can actually do that and have shown it now to be able to do that stuff is massive. So I don't know how much we're going to see from Bombino at this tournament because Peyton Miller's also in this team and he's another really, really good young player. But I'm going to stop talking now and stop naming players and I'm going to let Graham talk.
Gozo was like top of my list just because I think he's I know he's had a breakout year as a whole, but he's got like 4 goal contributions in his last 5 games, so he's really come onto my radar over that period. And in the fantasy MLS league that I'm test running at the moment, there's been a bidding war for him, and I think his price ended up at about 10 million. So there's a bit of hype about him that I've been aware of. And he's just an exciting player, right? He's a dribbler. If you get him going on the right side in space, he can isolate a defender, drive at them. He likes to get into the box as well. So he's someone that I want to see get real minutes at this tournament. He started both of the last 2 sort of tune-up games against Morocco. So that does suggest that he's going to be a key player for this team. two other players that I'm looking forward to see are two players that we've spoken about on this show before, who have been spoken about in terms of raw potential, and I'm just looking forward to seeing them from the start in games and actually see full 90-minute performances from them. One of them is Diego Koken. I don't want to fall into the trap of Badge FC, but when you look at the roster and the name FC Barcelona is next to a player, even though it's a goalkeeper, it is impossible not to get excited about the potential of that player. And he's going to play proper minutes in a proper tournament where we can finally start to make some sort of assessment of him. I don't know if a lot of people realise that. I don't know if I realised this, but Koken is now Barca B's first choice goalkeeper. It was Ander Astralaga last season. He's now left to join Granada. And so Koken has started the first two games for Barca B this season. He's played the full 180 minutes of the season so far. That's not nothing. I'm not saying get him starting for the US at this point, but if you're a key player for Barca B, that says something about how Barcelona view you as a talent. And I watched a compilation of his performance at the weekend in which he kept a clean sheet. And it was one of those compilations that shows every single touch and action from a player, which I think, certainly for a goalkeeper, can be quite useful. It was pretty impressive. He looks physically good. Didn't have a huge amount to do because Barcelona were dominant. But what he did have to do, he handled well. And I think the most eye-catching thing about him was, as you would expect for a Barcelona goalkeeper, he's very comfortable in the ball. And he does that thing where the most comfortable goalkeepers, they will actually wait for a bit of pressure to then pass the ball on to play around the press. He does that, and it was very, very impressive to see. So there's certainly something there. Looking forward to seeing him. And then similar to Koken, I'm just looking forward to seeing more of Cole Campbell, another player that we've spoken about before. I'd like a better read of him as a player, but because there have been times when I've watched him, some of his clips anyway, and sometimes I've thought I really like his ability to dribble on the ball and he's actually quite difficult to knock off the ball. Then other times I watch him and he's been very easy to knock off the ball, and that seems to have been a weakness for him. So when he's getting like garbage minutes at the end of games for Dortmund, and maybe the game state is a little bit difficult for him at that point, it's difficult to make an assessment. If he's going to be starting games, which he did in the last tune-up games, then similar to Koken, we're going to be able to make a better assessment of him. So those are two players I'll be looking out for.
Yeah, on Campbell, very briefly, I think it's telling that Dortmund released him for this competition. Yeah. Just as a reminder, clubs don't have to because it's a youth tournament. They can choose to because they think it's in their best interest and the best interest of the player. That's what happened with Dortmund. So, Graham, I think you asked me last week, would I want Cole Campbell to move this year? I would like to amend my answer to yes in January after having some time to reflect. It's telling to see where these players fit, and especially the European players, because the MLS season for a lot of these guys, it's almost over, right? So it's not a huge deal. If you're RSL, you're going to release your guys because you don't have much to play for at this stage. But for Dortmund, it's a different story, and I think does show that Campbell's probably not really in their plans in a meaningful way anytime soon. And on Koken, there's no Noah Kai Banks in this roster because he was not released by Augsburg, which should be viewed as a good thing by U.S. fans because that means they value him at club level. But Koken, other than I think Banks, is pretty widely regarded as the best prospect of this bunch. He's somebody who I think does have legit starting goalkeeper potential for a good Europa League team or a mediocre Champions League team. I mean, maybe it's more than that. We just don't know yet. But he is viewed very, very positively, not just by obviously people at Barcelona, but outside of Barcelona as well. He is somebody who's going to get some real chances, I think, to show some stuff in this tournament as well, because the center back depth chart for the U.S. is not all that strong. I wish I had Taylor's Josh Winder optimism. Fortunately, he's not really even been playing for Benfica B so far this season, so I don't really know exactly what that looks like for him. My bad. There are holes. There are holes in the back line, so Koken's going to have a chance to do some stuff.
Mediocre Champions League team, you say, Joe. Chelsea might be looking for a keeper.
There it is. Yeah. Solved. I mean, that's never not worked out for U.S. goalkeepers before to go and be buried at Chelsea. So let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, Gaga Slonina is literally in that pile right now.
Yep.
So add another one in.
Oh, boy. All right. U.S. Under-20 World Cup, of course, kicking off this Saturday, and the U.S. starting on Monday. We will track this tournament, of course, here on USMNT Weekly. We're going to take a quick break just in case, Graham, before we go to break, do you need to talk about Jimmy McSporran or Jock McHaggis or anyone else?
Jock McHaggis. I mean, Jock McHaggis isn't any more ridiculous than Aaron McSporran, so maybe he's getting called up at some point soon.
Good. All right, maybe so. They won't be, sadly, at the Under-20 World Cup. I don't think England are there either, but there we go. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, hey, who wants a quiz? This guy. Let's do it. Yeah. Total Soccer Show, welcome back to USMNT Weekly. Actually, guys, can we just pause? I just need to take a phone call. Yeah, TSS HR. Yeah, it's Ryan. Taylor asked me if I was aching for something again. I just said Chili's. Yeah, okay. I'll call you back. Thank you. Bye. Sorry about that, guys. Right. Where were we? Let's do a quiz, shall we? Joe, you mentioned in part one the 2019 Under-20 World Cup was the first that you covered professionally. Is this correct?
See?
How about we do a quiz about the 2019 Under-20 World Cup? Specifically, Joe.
How much do you want to do that quiz, Ryan? Did you say you're aching to do that quiz?
And we're getting
It's fine. I'll call HR. I'll do it.
Oh boy, I hope this doesn't become canon on this show. The 2019.
Are you aching
No,
for it
no,
not to?
no,
All right,
no.
I'll stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That under 2019, that under 20 World Cup in 2019 was held in Poland. That year, Ukraine won the tournament. Graham, would you like to guess who the top scorer at that tournament was? It's a very well-known Premier League striker.
Oh man, I have no idea. Is it Haaland? Is it the goal?
It's Erling Haaland, correct.
Oh, there we go.
Graham, he scored 9 goals in that tournament. Graham, would you like to ask me how many games he took to score those 9 goals?
15 minutes.
He scored all 9 goals in one game.
Yeah, right, so I wasn't far off.
It was a 12-0 win over Honduras, the biggest win at any FIFA men's tournament ever. Yeah, Haaland just scored a triple hat-trick in one of these games of the 2019 tournament. What a time to be alive. The US was coached by Tab Ramos, lost to
What a
champion.
time.
Yeah. Well, his team lost to Ukraine in the opener, champions Ukraine, beat Nigeria and Qatar in the groups, then beat France 3-2 in the round of 16 before losing to Ecuador in the quarter-finals. Now, the US squad included such luminaries as Tim Weah, Serginho Dest, Richard Ledesma, and Chris Richards, not Chris Ricardo. But there were some players you may not have heard of. This quiz is a where are they now? For players who are in the 2019 roster. So this might be quite challenging. This might be, in fact, the hardest quiz we've ever done.
It might be more challenging for the guy who wasn't covering this tournament professionally in 2019, i.e. me, and also the guy who's not American. So we'll see how this goes.
We all agree that Graham is just setting out the stall to then hustle all of us. When in
Underdog
reality,
story.
He knows
Yeah.
every single one of these players.
Yeah.
He's spent time with them. He's played Football Manager with them. I feel like Graham is going to ace this thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and also I've got the Wikipedia page sitting in front of me as well.
That's
So
pretty
that
nice.
come in handy.
that,
Yeah.
that will help you.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, some of these players, they are obscure clubs, should we say. So what I'm going to do, to be generous, you're going to get 1 point if you can get the country that this player is currently playing in, and you can have 3 points if you get the correct club.
Nice.
Okay, so here we go. The first player is Conrad de la Fuente. The midfielder, of course, was at Barcelona during the 2019 tournament. He had
Graham knows
9 under-20 apps. 3 senior appearances as well.
Yesterday, why would? Damn it. Okay, continue.
Was
Right,
that,
sorry.
Graham? You were on his Wikipedia page yesterday, not now, was that?
That wouldn't be cheating if I was doing research. To clarify, no, I didn't do that. I read about him in Brian Sciaretta's American Abroad column, and I can't remember where he's playing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Have a guess, though, Graham. Conrad de la Fuente, where is he now? As a reminder, he was at Barcelona during the tournament. He's been around a few different countries.
I can't do the club, but I'll say Cyprus as the country.
Very well. Joe Lowry?
I was also thinking Cyprus or Greece, so in the nature of being different, I'll say Greece. That might be wrong, though. I don't know what club he's at, though.
Taylor's got a cheeky smile. Is it because he's thinking about saying aching again, or he's got the answer?
Neither. It's because I'm going in an entirely different direction. He was in Switzerland at one point, so I'm going to say he's still in Switzerland.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's a decent shout. He's at
It's a great shout.
Taylor gets a half point because
Oh.
he is contracted to Lausanne Sport in Lausanne, Switzerland. However, he's on loan this season in the second division of Spain at a place called Quetta.
Yeah.
Quetta. Graham's
saw
like,
that.
yeah, Quetta, of course, I watched 3.
Yeah,
No,
I know
I
every
just
other
remember-
Quetta player, but
For the next segment, I read Brian Sciaretta's Americans Abroad column, and he had Conrad de la Fuente, who did not play at the weekend. So, did I get a point for that? Okay.
Nope.
No. All right. But De La Fuente also went from Barcelona. He then played at Marseille. He had loan spells at Olympiacos and Eibar before Lausanne and then Quetta.
I thought he was a guy for a time. Taylor, I think you were maybe on the Conrad De La Fuente hype train to an extent as well.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I don't think I was alone on that hype train. It wasn't just the name. It was the Barcelona of it all. It was the stepovers, but then eventually it was the stepovers kind of done for no reason away from a defender that made me start to wonder if maybe that was the most efficient way of attacking. Spoiler alert, it was not.
All right, here we go. Next player. Goalkeeper Brady Scott, who made 13 appearances for the US Under-20. Let's see. During the Under-19 tournament, he was actually an FC Köln player. He made 29 appearances for FC Köln between 2017 and 2020. But Joe, where he now?
I cannot name the club. I'm going to say he's in the United States somewhere.
Okay. Would you like to just have a guess at a club? Name an American club?
Yeah, why not? Forward Madison.
Ooh, lovely shot on.
Wow. Joe has him in League One. I had him in USL Championship. So I will say United States as well. I would say Arizona, but I feel like Joe would know if he played for Phoenix. Let's go Utah. Why not?
Okay.
Utah is not a club. What is Utah? What does that mean?
I was just going
The
state.
Utah
Good
Jazz.
call.
He's now
Utah
a
Jazz,
basketball
yeah.
player.
Yep. That's my answer.
All right,
Utah
there we go.
Jazz.
Very good. Graham?
Oh man, this is just a dart at a wall in the dark. He's in the Canadian Premier League. Why not?
Well, because he's not. That's a good reason why not.
Womp womp.
Taylor and Joe can have a point because he is in the United States. Who said that he was in the USL Championship? Because they can get partial credit.
Taylor did.
He's at Ventura County FC. On loan from LA Galaxy.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Brady Scott still getting it done. Next one, Abubakar Keita, centre back. Taylor, during the tournament.
Can I go last?
Sure you can, but do you know where he was playing during this 2019 tournament? It's quite close to your heart.
I do. It was Richmond Kickers on loan from Columbus.
There you go.
He played a whopping 4 games? 5 games? 3 games? Not a lot. Yeah. Yeah. But he was the one that I was like, this is the guy. Definitely not just because I've seen him in person and he played for the team that I like. He is certainly the guy. I don't think that ended up being the case.
Well, we'll see. We'll see when we get to the end of the question. Graham, you've had some lovely context there. Abubakar Keita. Where is he? He had 8 under-20 appearances for the US.
He is in the A-League in Australia.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah. He plays for Sydney FC.
Nice.
I think he was
Almost believable.
I think he was Player of the Month for March.
Say it with conviction and add detail, and you can get away with anything.
I believed it. Yeah, that's good.
Good.
I'm gonna guess that he is no longer playing soccer and that he's an agent.
There is no trick questions in this. Everyone I'm mentioning in this quiz.
All
is still an
right,
active
fine.
player.
I will say he's playing in the French third tier, French third tier.
Very good.
France. Nailed it.
Does Taylor have the answer?
Sounds
Taylor
like it.
does have the answer. He plays in Finland, I believe.
Is he right?
It's good, but it's not quite right.
Oh, it's not?
No.
I thought I looked him up recently because I was looking up former Kickers players while being sad about how bad they are at present. I was like, some of these guys, Hugh Roberts could come back. Abubakar Keita could come back. So he's not in Finland? Oh, man. See? There we go. My own arrogance.
Plying his trade in, of course, Sweden with Kalmar FF.
One of those ones.
Close. Taylor.
25, he's not finished.
One of those ones.
I apologize.
Hey, Graham. That was nice. That was good.
Thanks.
I liked it.
They're not doing so well. They're not in the top tier, I believe, Kalmar. So, Abubakar Keita, that's where he is. Next player, Justin Rennicks.
I knew you were going to say this guy.
Yeah, you did. Justin
know.
Rennicks, Revolution Youth prospect. 16 under-20 caps did Justin Rennicks have. He was actually at the Revolution during this tournament. But Joe, could you give me a guess as to where he plays now?
Yeah, first of all, Justin Rennicks walked so that Brendan Aronson could run. But like just the most extreme hustle forward you've ever seen in your life. I'm going to say that Justin Rennicks is also in USL League One. I'm going to just go ahead and toss out the Portland Hearts of Pine as my answer to this.
Good guess.
Yeah,
My God.
great kids.
Hearts of Pine, by the way, that is just a solid, and I don't mean a pun there, a solid name.
They've done very well. They've done very well for themselves. And part of that success is that Justin Rennicks, I've heard, did a lot of the creative for them, in addition to playing for them. So go on, Justin. Yep.
Wow.
Does he have a sibling, Justin Rennicks?
Probably. Maybe multiple.
Okay.
Lots of people do. It's a common thing.
Why do I know the name? I feel like Dylan Rennicks is a name that I assumed was his sibling, but I don't know why I thought that was the case. Either way, I'm going to say he plays for the Charlotte Independents of the USL Championship.
Ooh,
Very good.
I know those guys. Very good.
They are in League One, however, but that is a great
Too.
pick.
And they play the Kickers this weekend. So probably not him.
Yeah.
But I'm still saying it. North Carolina.
Very well. Graham?
So he's on the books at Red Star Belgrade at the moment. Came off the bench in last month's Eternal Derby. Underlying numbers are really strong, actually, this season. Much improved on last season. So, yeah. Point?
No. But once again, I did enjoy the bio. Very good indeed.
Okay.
Taylor, if you had pointed towards the nation you previously mentioned in the last player, you would have been accurate. He plays in Finland for, of course we all know them, AC Oulu.
Oh,
AC Oulu.
Oulu.
Yeah, no, they're famed
In
For-
Finland.
for being a club in Finland that employs Justin Rennicks, Dylan Rennicks' brother.
Yeah. Quite close to Russia, probably. Yeah.
It could be Russian tomorrow. We'll see what
Soon
happens.
to be part of.
We'll see. All right, next player for you. It's a left back. It's Chris Gloucester. During the tournament, he was in the PSV setup. Let's see how many times he played for the under-20s. He played 17 times the under-20s, a couple of times the under-23s as well. He's been at a few different clubs since 2019. Graham, let's have your full bio and, what colour underwear he was wearing, or whatever you want to go for this one.
I'm not certain on this one, but I'll say the Welsh Premier Division.
TNS, he's playing for Total Network Solutions.
No, he's playing for a team that's name is about 20 times longer than that. Starts with an L. There's W's and X's in there.
All right. Well, none of us is going to try and pronounce that one, but we know what one you mean. Very good. Okay. Joe?
I'm going back to the well that's just never failed me. Let's stick in USL. I'm going to go with New Mexico. New Mexico USL Championship. That's my pick. Do I feel good? No. Do I feel great? No.
It's a team. It
It's a
exists.
team. And it's one I can pronounce, unlike Graham's
But
pick, which I feel like
you would have
deserves
seen
something.
them play, right, Joe?
I have seen them play at some point.
I feel like Joe's being sneaky here.
Taylor, Christopher Gloucester.
Yeah, we all know that he was playing in the Netherlands at the time of the tournament. Is that what you said, Ryan? Yeah, we all know that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Young PSV, which means young PSV.
Ah, interesting. He definitely makes a move to Germany after that tournament, and I think it was with Hanover, who are now in the 3rd division of German football. So I'm going to say he jumped ship from Hanover after Hanover were relegated. We all saw that coming. I cannot think of a Bundesliga 2 team. I'm going to say he plays in the Zweite Bundesliga in Germany for one of them teams.
Very good. All right. Well, not very good because not
Oh.
correct, but still I liked where your head was at. His youth career, by the way, he's from Montclair, New Jersey. So his first team was Montclair United. The next 2 teams are the New Egypt Bohemians, amazing, and
Tight.
FC Jersey Galacticos.
Oh,
Full credit for those names. Those are incredible. What's more incredible is that Joe nailed it. He's at New Mexico United.
I did know that one.
Absolutely.
He went from Europe to NYCFC, and then he went from NYCFC, I think, straight from there to New Mexico. And I have seen him play. You're right about that, Taylor. Ha! Points.
Taylor saw through it.
You just got Chris Gloucester, Taylor.
Boom.
what
So
they say.
he was another one that I was pretty hyped about in this tournament. I thought he was going to be a
just
future
got
U.S.
Gloustered.
U.S. It might have been Steve Gerundolo because of the move to Hanover. I was like, here we go. We got another one. We didn't. Spoiler alert.
Well, I've got another one. I've got another 2 for you. Things are about to get real, ladies and gents. Matthew Reel, left back.
I know
Was
this
it
one
the,
also. I should go last.
Okay, he's at the Philadelphia Union. Yeah, okay, that might give you a clue, Taylor and Graham, as to which country he might be in. Matthew Reel, who was at the Union, 11 under-20 appearances. Graham, don't say he was in the Swiss 2nd Division, please.
What if he is? What? Things could have changed since you researched this.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Okay, I may as well get 1 point on the board. He's in the United States. Surely, please tell me he's in the United States. I'm not going to give you a club, though.
I don't know. Why don't you try and give me a club?
No, because if I give you a club, do I then forfeit the single
No,
point?
no. You
Your
still get the
point's
point.
locked in.
Okay. You said he was at the Philly Union? Or no?
That's where he was during the tournament, yeah.
Is that a link? Who's their USL team? Bethlehem Steel? Is that?
We're past that.
He did play for them, but that's not the team he's currently at.
I will say Charleston Battery.
It's a nice guess. Is it Real or Real, Joe, by the way?
I think it's Real. I got to admit, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Taylor.
I mean, I'm going to say USL Championship. I'm going to say a Western Conference USL Championship team. I don't think it's Phoenix Rising, because I don't think Ryan would do that. But Joe seems very like I know who this is. So now I'm just trying to think of USL Championship teams in the Western Conference. I cannot remember what Colorado is, so I will go Orange County.
Oh, Taylor, you were so close. I do believe he plays for the Colorado Springs Switchbacks, who have, Graham, to your credit, all sorts of ties to the Philadelphia Union when it comes to their coaching staff. They've got a lot of former... Anthony Fontana is on the books at Colorado Springs Switchbacks. I don't know if that name does anything for you, Taylor. It seems like it doesn't, given that you're not responding. But yes, there are all sorts of cultural ties between those clubs, but he does play for them.
Taylor was so close. Taylor's holding up a sign now. I'm not going to say on air what it was. If you're watching our YouTube, bully for you.
Well, they're not now. We've been struck off.
Yeah, we've been censored. One more player for you in this wonderful quiz.
Wait, do I get a point for USA? And then
Yes, yeah, you and Graham both get a point.
Yes, you do.
Man.
Sorry. And I hope you've all been keeping personal scores, because I have not. Ayo Akinola is your final player. You're going to tell me where he is playing. He is a forward, US youth player. He had 12 under-20 appearances. He doesn't actually play for the US anymore. He switched to Canada in 2021, 4 senior appearances. Where is he playing now? And I will be very, very impressed if any of you get it.
All right, I'll go first since I went last on the other one. I have no idea. Ayo Akinola, certified big boy striker. That's really what I remember about Ayo Akinola. I'm going to say, my gut says he's in Scandinavia somewhere, so I'm just going to say that he is, he's in Norway, in the first division in Norway.
Very well.
I don't care to name a club at this time, thank you.
Okay. Taylor, would you like to try and name... Oh, actually, why don't you just try and name a club in Norway?
Nah,
that's
all right.
Should we say Molde? That's one I can think of.
in the Tippelagen.
It's fun to say.
It sure is. I think he was another one who was in Switzerland for a while, so I will say Switzerland.
Okay. Graham?
Swiss football's fun. I'll say Switzerland as well. He's really been lighting up the Swiss Super League recently. Yeah, he's been great. I don't know why Poch hasn't called him, although Poch doesn't call anyone. So
Is he a texter?
yeah, that's where he is.
Maybe. Well, he up until very recently he played at Wil in Switzerland. WIL. Wil in Switzerland.
What, recently, so not anymore.
Not currently. He moved to the neighbouring country of Liechtenstein, where he plays for Vaduz. Of course.
Wow.
Wait, no. Hold on.
We've all got to hold on. Graham's going to say something. He's typing.
Graham's aching to tell us something.
I am aching to tell you this. Vaduz are they not the team? They play in the Swiss League! Vaduz play in the Swiss League. I knew they were the team.
Checking.
They do.
Checking.
I just Googled it.
They play in the Swiss Challenge League. He's right, everybody. Graham gets a
Wow.
Taylor gets a point.
point. Taylor gets a point.
Taylor got it as well. I just copied him.
That was impressive.
Graham, I've never seen you like that before. That was kind of inspiring, what you just did. Heroic, even.
I'm impressed that you knew that Vaduz played in the lower levels of the
You know what?
Swiss
I
pyramid.
don't want the point. Graham can have that point all on his own. Graham earned that point.
They've been in the newsletter before.
I will go +0 on that one.
All right.
Well
I
done,
think
Graham.
because the only one who got an answer right was Joe, so maybe Joe won the quiz. Is that fair?
I did have 7 at the final tally.
Wow. I had 3.
7? Jeez.
Yeah.
I go 2 points in total.
Okay.
I have one bonus quiz question that I believe I am correct on that only Joe will get.
Nice.
If Ayo Akinola was in this team and switched nationalities. I believe he is one of at least 2 players who played for the U.S. in this tournament who no longer plays for the United States. Joe, can you guess the other one?
Oh, wow. 2019, Richard Ledesma hasn't officially decided anything yet, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not counting him.
Not that anybody's breaking down the door. No, it's not coming to me.
He plays for Mexico. Does that help?
Obed Vargas. No, wrong year. He would have been a child. I have no idea.
Julian Araujo.
There it is.
Ooh.
Yeah, good pull. Bournemouth's own.
I think so.
Right.
I think they both played in this one.
I'll buy it.
There you go. That was our 2019 Under-20 World Cup quiz. It doesn't matter who won. It's about the friends we made along the way. Let's take one more quick break. When we come back, a very quick look back at the Americans who impressed us last weekend. Join us then. Total Soccer Show, welcome back to USMNT Weekly. Taylor, I would love for you, if it's okay, to tell me an American player who stood out to you in the most recent round of domestic matches, please.
There are a couple nominees, I think, from this weekend. Christian Pulisic getting the brace definitely should be on the list.
And an assist.
Tim Weah and Marseille beating PSG would be on the list, but I'm going to beat Joe to the punch, and I'm going to say Tanner Tessmann. I'm going to steal that thunder right from him.
How did you know that's who was on my list?
That's what I was going to say as well. So.
Wow, well played.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Tanner Tessmann scores the winner for Lyon, is a clutch performer for them, has statistically one of the best performances of anyone in the team. I think of anyone on the pitch, gets praised by L'Equipe, according to American Soccer Now. It felt like a very good weekend for a player that needs to have weekends like this if he wants to get on Pochettino's radar. So a strong weekend for him. Number one for me and nobody else, because I claimed him first in your faces, respectively, Joe and Graham.
There was a tweet going around about Tanner Tessmann's numbers, and then I went into FotMob just to check that they were correct. They are correct. Some of these numbers are ridiculous. So this is against other League One midfielders this season, and look, we're 5 games into the season, but nonetheless. Possessions won per 90, first. Interceptions per 90, first. Shots blocked, first. Dribble success rate for midfielders, first. Aerial duels won, second. Possessions won, third. Kind of unbelievable. And then on top of that, he's in the 87th percentile for possessions completed forward, 78th percentile for progressive passes completed. And as you say, Taylor, he's been in the L'Equipe Team of the Week 3 times in just 5 weeks of the season. I don't know what that really says, but it says that he's kind of flying at the moment for a Lyon team that have won 4 of their... For all the doom and gloom there was about Lyon before the start of the season, I wonder how Matt Turner feels about their start to the season, because they've won 4 out of 5 and are flying, and Tanner Tessmann seems to have been a very central part of that side. He's played every single minute for them so far. So it would frankly be... And look, there's competition in central midfield, but my opinion is it would be a little bizarre if he is not called up to the October camp, even though it seems like he's sort of on the outside of the squad. He's playing at a pretty high level right now. Yeah.
It is interesting. I guess this is just the Tanner Tessmann segment. I'm actually shaken that there are other players that we all could have picked, and we all did default to Tessmann. There are other players, of course, in that center mid depth chart, but we talked about this recently. I think there is a real chance that Tessmann is brought back into this team, because I just don't see how Pochettino can watch Sebastian Berhalter tape and think, I want to have Sebastian Berhalter and not Tanner Tessmann in this team. Now, there are other things besides just the tape that matter when you're building a roster, right? There are off-field things or intangible things. So maybe those things mean that you pick Berhalter over Tessmann if you have to make that kind of decision. But Tessmann, on just his pure quality, I know that Angers is not like an amazing team by any stretch of the imagination that Lyon beat 1-0 over the weekend. But still, Tessmann has been consistently good in Ligue 1 so far this year from what I've watched. And he did a lot of good stuff in this game. I watched this whole match for Lyon. So the double pivot of Corentin Tolisso and Tanner Tessmann is something that I'm living for right now. Tolisso is a guy that I will always remember as being like, oh, he's going to be the next big thing, and then that didn't happen. Which is also the theme, by the way, of our second segment on today's episode. So that's just how it is. But Tessmann started in that double pivot in what was this fluid 4-2-3-1. His goal is like a nothing goal. It's him crashing the ball off of a corner kick. It's a rebound. It's scrappy. That's exactly right. His passing...
Goals don't matter, Lowery over there.
That's right. His passing was very good in this game, and that has been the strength of his game for quite some time, even back in the youth setup and coming through with Dallas, is his long-distance passing. That stuff was really good in this game. I thought his defensive positioning was quite good, and also his connective passing was quite good in this game, where he was rhythmic, he wasn't wasting touches on the ball. There was a lot to like. I do think there are real things for Tessmann to improve. And some of those numbers actually do surprise me a little bit, Graham. I wonder how the dribbling statistics are being counted, because at least in this game that I watched, his progression on the dribble was okay, but when he gets into tight spots and tried to dribble through those things, he did not have much success. He had basically zero success dribbling through traffic or breaking down on Cher's low block on the dribble. It was his distribution that shined in a way that his dribbling did not. That's one thing that I think he can improve, and that's an area where if we're comparing guys who are kind of on the bubble of this roster, or at least are in the central midfield hat of players that you could pick almost any name out of, that's where Musa certainly has him beat. Musa, by the way, did not start over the weekend after he had started against PSG. That's one area for Tessmann I think could improve, his dribbling in tight spots. The other thing that I think is the most obvious weakness in his game is he is still too stiff defensively. Where if he's defending 1v1 and the other player is quicker than him, which is quite a good number of players because Tessmann is a giant, whenever he's up in those 1v1 situations, he is at risk of getting turned and getting beaten. And that happened multiple times in this game over the weekend. That is a little bit of a concern for me. He is still just not fluid enough when it comes to defending, that I do worry a bit about him against higher quality opposition when we're looking at this through a USMNT perspective. So there's a lot to like about his game, and I do think he's getting better. He's getting more consistent on the ball. He is getting more assertive defensively and does add real value in duels. There's no doubt about that. Set piece target as well. Set piece taker can be, certainly in that category too. But those couple of things, the dribbling through traffic and not getting turned defensively, those things are what are holding him back from playing for a team that is better than Lyon. And those are the things holding him back from being a guaranteed member of the U.S. men's national team.
You know that meme of Jose Mourinho throwing the headphones off in disgust? I think that might be Christian Pulisic right now with his 2 goals and an assist in a 3-0 away win over the weekend.
I'll jump in here. Because I kind of assumed that everybody would go Pulisic. So
we've done it enough. Like we've done that enough times.
I feel like we skip over him.
Like
I think
for a decade now, basically.
Is not liking Christian Pulisic on this show. So I will say, I think he deserves a ton of credit for the fact that he has, it seems, become a key performer for Max Allegri, who is suspended for this game, lest we forget. But to get the brace, to get the assist, to be kind of functioning in that 3-5-2 of sorts, but being one of the strikers and looking really solid for them, all very much to his credit. I will note that they have, 3 wins from 4 this season. They lose to Cremonese in the opener. Then it's Lecce, who are bottom of the table. Then it's Bologna, who are like 9th. Run. And then I think, is it Torino? Is there? Or no, obviously it was Udinese this weekend, who were like 11th. So
they had Lecce last night as well, where Pulisic also scored off the bench.
So there you go. So it's been like a very good start for him, and he has done what he needs to do. But I will jump ahead to our weekend preview and say Milan-Napoli this weekend is probably the most exciting game to watch, I think, from an American perspective, because we want to see what Pulisic can do against top-of-the-table Napoli. And then also there's this Scottish guy who's a legend that we should all be really excited about.
Which one?
He should win the Ballon d'Or.
Which one?
Billy Gilmore. Billy Gilmore.
Right. Is that goal-scoring Billy Gilmore now that we call him?
Yeah, he's no longer young William Gilmore. Now he's goal-scoring William Gilmore.
There we go. Yeah, I am genuinely very much looking forward to that game this weekend. For Milan, it feels like their first proper test of the season, but all things considered, I think this is the best 2 teams in Italy right now facing each other this weekend. And Pulisic is a key figure for this Milan team. Always has been since the moment he's joined, but really feels like Allegri ball is getting the best out of him, where maybe he has a little bit more open space to attack. They seem to be using him as part of this front 2, or certainly that's where he played against Udinese and against Lecce last night. And that role just gives him freedom. It gives him freedom to drift. He's out on the left side a lot of the time. But even in that game against Udinese, one of the goals that he scores comes from the right side of the pitch. So he's just the main man for AC Milan, and it's exciting to see Milan certainly be more functional to start this season than they were 12 months ago, where last season was a bit of a disaster.
Good stuff. All right. I think we are the license plate on Doc Brown's DeLorean, because we are out of time, everybody, for this episode of USMNT Weekly. Taylor Rockwell, thank you very much indeed for your contributions, and good job on the quiz.
You are welcome, my friend. The aching was all mine.
He did it again. Joe, thank you very much. You did it again, Joe.
Yeah, I'm kind of desensitized to it at this point, actually. It's like, you say the word out loud so many times it starts to sound like a fake word. That's kind of where I'm at, just auditorially. That's a new word I'm making
I didn't hear anything. He's been censored. He's been kimmeled. So.
Haha, take that.
He's back in certain markets, actually, Graham Ruthven. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ryan Bailey.
And listener, thank you very much for joining us on this here USMNT Weekly. We appreciate you. We'll be back on the feed very shortly. But for now, bye.